We teased Myles Garrett earlier in the show, and before the Super Bowl, just 10 minutes before kickoff, Joe Thomas put out a 4.5-minute statement about his thoughts on the Myles Garrett trade. So we're going to play all of Joe Thomas's statement, and then we'll dive into the Myles discussion, and then we're going to wrap up the show with some Guardians. But here is Joe Thomas. It's about 4.5 minutes on the Myles Garrett trade request. Let's play it in.
I'm down in New Orleans covering the Super Bowl 59 for the NFL, and here are a few thoughts that I've had this week after Myles Garrett's trade request on this week's Cup of Joe. Now, Myles Garrett's trade request has rocked Browns Nation. He's the reigning Defensive Player of the Year, and he wants out. But this really isn't just about one player losing faith in the team's ability to win a Super Bowl. It's a reflection of the franchise's current state. A direct result of the disastrous trade for Deshaun Watson. But more than that, it forces the Browns into the most critical offseason in team history. Garrett's been a foundation of the Cleveland defense for years. He's played at a Hall of Fame level since he was a rookie. Yet, despite the dominance that he has shown, the Browns have failed to build a team capable of sustained success. So his request really isn't about disloyalty to Cleveland. Don't make that mistake, right? It's more about making the most of his career while he's still in his prime. Now, he understands what it takes to play at the level he's been playing at. The grind, the pain, the sacrifice that you have to put into it. He knows without that clear path in his mind to a championship, he's just not going to be able to put his body on the line the same way every single be great. So this really isn't just a business decision, it's a personal one for Myles, because he knows that every snap, it costs him something physically. Every collision chips away what's left of his career. And he's aware of that. And now he's decided that he wants to act on it because he knows mentally he can't go on at this level without a legitimate shot to win that Super Bowl. Now, it really hurts. It hurts Browns fans. It hurts me. It hurts current and former players to know that he wants to be traded. I mean, he's the reigning Defensive Player of the Year. He's Mr. Cleveland. He's tied into that community. And for me, it's a little bit personal because now I'm not going to take any credit for his greatness, but I was on the team when he was a rookie. And it was great to see the effort, commitment that he put in to make himself great. The way I was able to help him with little tips as a rookie and see how he's blossomed into now the most dominant pass rusher this league may have ever seen. It gives me a lot of pride just watching him. And I know that I have a lot of relief knowing that he's not working me over anymore, and I feel really bad for those tackles he's got to play. But it does suck to know that he's ready to move on. I've called him the Bowser of pass rushers because he's kind of like the last guy on planet Earth that you have to see as an offensive lineman before you win the Princess. Nobody's harder. On one pass rush, I guarantee he is the hardest of all time. Now, I wrote an article a little while ago called Move the Drill. It was right after I hurt my elbow, and it's all about figuring out where you are, accepting that reality and moving on, and that no one player is bigger than the team because the train's going to keep moving on. And you've got to be able to look at the situation you're in and deal with the cards that you've been dealt. Now, he went on Radio Row last week and flirted with fan bases across the league. Became pretty clear to me that it wasn't about money, this trade request. He'd already moved the drill in his mind. He's done in Cleveland. And as much as that hurts, like I said, Browns fans, we need to accept it. We need to focus on what comes next. Don't dwell on the past. We need to move the drill too. And that's why this is the most important offseason in Browns history, because the front office has several things to do that are very important. Obviously, number one is finding that franchise quarterback with the second pick in the draft. Number two, though, it's maximizing the leverage with Myles' trade value because he's marketed himself directly to fan bases, and that's actually good for both sides. Number three, use that draft capital for Myles' trade to find his replacement. And number four, you got to build a team that can fill holes in the roster, right? Running back, offensive line, defensive line, receiver. This is a massive undertaking, but let's not forget this roster, even with the flaws that we have, is only 2 years removed from going 11-6 and making the playoffs with Joe Flacco under center. So this is a team that's built to win now. If the Browns can handle all these things the right way, and that's a big if they can do that and they can wield Myles Garrett's trade value like a samurai sword, they could come out on the other side with multiple first and second round picks in the next couple drafts. And that could create a nucleus that can allow this team to compete immediately and set us up for sustained success. So the question becomes, right? Will Cleveland recognize the opportunity and move the drill? Or are they going to cling to false hope and keep fans stuck in the factory of sadness for years to come.
The Mike Polk reference, Factory of Sadness.
Yeah.
So, guys, what do you make of A, what Joe Thomas had to say, and then B, as he alluded to, Myles tripled down. He was on the pregame Super Bowl show, once again saying, my views don't align with Cleveland. I want out. At this point, is he helping or hurting his own cause by continuing to do these interviews?
Well, first of all, Joe's kind of come to the conclusion Myles has played his last game for the Browns.
He's moved on.
There is no doubt in his mind of how this is going to go.
Do you think he's talked to him? Because when I watched him say that,
Yeah.
I go, I wonder if he's got
No.
inside. I don't think he has either.
No.
But he was, he's moved on.
Yeah.
He has made up his mind.
And I said it before, like, I use Kobe and Michael Strahan as examples. Just because the guy says it's over, it doesn't mean it's really over.
Right.
I just think it's in the Browns' best interest, especially of all years, to have the number 2 pick and have Abdul Carter sitting right there. It's all a risk. We have no idea if Abdul Carter is going to be any good or not. But it sure looks like there's a built-in replacement to draft Abdul Carter, trade Myles for 26 picks, not 25, 26 picks, and go get a quarterback. He's been here 8 years. You've won nothing with him. For as phenomenal of a talent as he is, what have you won?
Hasn't
Nothing.
moved the needle that much.
Until you solve quarterback, nothing else matters.
Well, I mean, I don't look again. I hate to beat a dead horse. I was told from I don't know how big much more high of a source it can be that he was not letting his camp was not letting Myles Garrett be Joe Thomas. This is been a thought process for 2 to 3 years. No, he's not coming back. It's a wrap. This is Dunsky. It's been Dunsky. It's been in the works to be Dunsky for multiple months, right? So Joe Thomas is right. It's all about what you do to pivot and to make the best out of the situation and be top flight businessmen. You know, not only did you get fleeced at one point in time for picks for Deshaun Watson, let's see how great you are at fleecing other people. Yeah. Now I need you to recoup. I need you to not only come out of the draft with a replacement or the best players available. I now want you to be looking at, I want you to come out of this draft or this offseason with a quarterback. I want a playmaker, I want an edge rusher, and I want multiple picks to move forward next year to move around the board and do what we need to do. The Cleveland Browns, I'm telling you right now, the Cleveland Browns have the first pick. They almost got 2 first-round picks anyway because they got the first pick in the second round. You have that pick. You got 2 third-round picks. You have the biggest trade asset on the board right now. You could move that for something. But instead of sitting around trying to play games talking about, oh, we're going to drag this off into the summer, that is a losing proposition. Now teams is like, we already filled our stuff. We did. Listen, I know it's going to be difficult. I'm trying to get rid of Myles Garrett any way I can with the gymnastics I can right now to get people hot and bothered and all excited about the prospects of having, I need Myles Garrett. And he's doing exactly what he should do. He should be out there talking about, I'm going to get the highest price possible. And he doubled and tripled down because what you want is old owners waking up at 3 a.m, calling their GM like, hey, this Myles Garrett thing is really getting heated up over here. Why are we not in on Myles Garrett? Well, I didn't think we had the assets. No. It sounds like they're willing to give him listen, I need you guys to be all in, everybody in. And for me, they have to come out of this better than what they were back in the day when they first took over as leadership. When they took over, they had a quarterback, a running back, a top 5 offensive line, Myles Garrett, all these pieces of parts. I need you to do like the Eagles did. They put together a draft in the last 2 years where those guys are competing at a high level in the Super Bowl. They all young dudes. So I think y'all can come out, if Joe Thomas says it correctly, you can, if you put it together and you get things together and you don't be emotional about it, you can come out of this thing with a great haul of picks and some young talent to restart this thing.
I do think that they need to draw this out, though. That's where you and I think disagree because of the cap implications.
Oh, it's hard with the cap.
I think they do have to wait until the new year begins, which is after June. But again, that plays into the 26 picks. I want to read one thing real quick before you go, Jay. I sent you guys this over the weekend. Diana Rossini, obviously, is one of our NFL insiders. This is what Diana wrote over the weekend. Publicly, the Browns are standing firm, but behind the scenes, this isn't a smokescreen. Sources close to Garrett say he's not bluffing. Blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, Cleveland is playing hardball. Teams from both the NFC and AFC have been calling, and the response from Cleveland's front office, quote, "We are not moving him, ... but stay tuned." That means
They're driving the price up.
Oh, and I think that they realize, like, you have to draw this out because of the cap implications, because trying to drive the price up, whatever. I think that this is going to extend into the summer, well into the summer. But I'm not saying this because Myles went on Radio Row and said, I'm done in Cleveland. I'm saying this because I think it's in the best interest of the Browns. I think he's played his last game. But I actually don't think it has anything to do with what Myles did this week, last week, or any other week.
No.
He really has no leverage. He's got 2 years left on his contract.
Browns have the
His
hammer.
leverage is go ahead and retire. That's your leverage.
He's not going to embarrass the Browns into making this type of. That's not going to happen. Like that. It is.
Well, the alternative is he shows up to training camp.
They're not. They can be stoic as possible. Like now, it's just about the business. Like, all right, you want to be traded, but we're not going to trade you until it works out best for us. Like we're not going. Like it for them to trade them. Doesn't it seem like they got to move heaven and earth and then put themselves in a crazy position just to even think about trading them?
I mean, they got to wait for the new cap year for the new business year to begin, and it's still going to be messy. It's still going to be hard. But I don't think it's tenable under the current year, nor do you think, I think this is a better draft in a lot of positions outside of quarterback.
Yes.
Running back, defensive line,
but if
tight
end is loaded.
Tight end is loaded.
But if you're trying to address the most important position, this is not the draft to do it, which is why I keep saying you want 26 picks so that you can move around the board in 26 to go get a quarterback.
And you can get both. I mean,
you
will get both.
Absolutely.
And so,
like Garrett already pointed out, you've got a bunch of picks, high picks this year.
You do, and it's all about the draft capital that you have. No matter when they move him, and I agree with you, moving him before the year is over, waiting until the new NFL year begins, is, I think, the only avenue.
Yeah.
Which means you don't get anything for this year's draft.
Right.
I've mentioned the 3 1s to people, and they're like, "Wait, are you kidding me?"
I think you'd be lucky to get 2. And
That's exactly what I was
told. It
told
wasn't
by
long ago where I thought
multiple people in
for
the league.
sure you would get 2. Now I'm not so sure.
Here's what I heard more than anything else. You'll get a first, a second, and probably a third, and that's as high as we think this is going to go.
Yeah.
If that's the case, then the Browns do have to look at all of this and say, maybe we bite the bullet, we keep them, and we just show them. Don't listen to what we say, because what we've said the last 8 years has been wildly off. Just watch what we do. Sit back and watch the draft. Watch the excitement build about the pieces that we pick up during this draft. And maybe he becomes David Njoku Part 2 and says, you know what, I'm good, I'm going to stay. I don't know that that's going to happen. I don't know how this is going to turn out. It all depends on his resolve. It appeared to me, as I was gauging his resolve, that he's kind of dug in. But also at one point on Rich Eisen, he said after making his decision that this thing's kind of been night to night. Okay, so that tells me that there might be a little hole in his armor.
Especially, Jay, if you get to a point where you're looking at the Browns and you start to look at the teams that you possibly can land with, and you're like, well, are they that much big of a contender? Like, are they that much of a contender? Like, why would you want to go to New England?
I wouldn't. He doesn't.
I mean, why would you want to say, all right, well,
you could probably come up with in your mind the 10 teams he'd like to go to.
Sure,
right.
but
It's
that's
the top 10
He has no
has
leverage.
no say.
He has no control.
None.
in
do you
this.
want to play for the Colts?
And don't you have to? He's going to want a new contract.
Yes.
This is going to be a trade and sign. So, the teams that are going to be interested in him are the teams that are one piece away.
Yes and no. I mean, go back to the. I just drew a blank. Who went from the Raiders to the Bears?
Khalil Mack.
Thank you.
Mack.
Yeah.
Khalil Mack. The Bears were not one piece away, I don't think. I'm going off memory here. They were a good team.
No, they were a much better
They
team.
were a good team that was.
Yeah.
They were a good team that was trying to become a great team.
And
there's a
Khalil
lot.
Mack may have looked at that and said, "I'm that piece."
There's
and
a
Myles
lot.
Garrett might too.
There's a lot of teams out there that right now, and that's why I was saying you don't have to trade them to the Lions or the Chiefs. Find a good team that's trying to become great that may or may not. Like, you don't have to come away with the 30th pick in the draft.
I mean, Packers. I mean, if I was the 49ers, I offer picks now. Like the 49ers, I mean,
sure.
You see, like, you got him and Bosa. I'd look for somebody who has a solid defense, that's a top flight defense.
Hey,
top
I'm trading
10.
to San Francisco right now. That's the best pick we're going to get. But I would want it for this year's draft because next year they're not going to win five games.
They're not. Yeah.
You know, they're going to win.
If San Francisco can put Bosa with,
oh my God,
with Myles Garrett, then good luck out there.
You know what he's created? They're talking in NFL front offices. I would imagine 25 of the 31 other NFL front offices are having this conversation over the last week and beyond. Is this a move do we think that would make a difference? What could we give up? And I know the Browns say they're not talking now. I believe Diana's report because I believe what you're telling me too. It's too messy to trade. I've had someone say they can't trade him now. It's not a matter of do they want to or will they?
The money is money's
I
ridiculously
had someone
crazy.
physically say, pounding his fist, it doesn't matter what they want to do, they can't.
Yeah.
And so if that's true, and then you wait for the new year, and then you can move some things around and you have a little bit more flexibility, then you can make it. But I'm told even in that situation, it's still going to be like $2 million under the cap.
It's going to be messy, but it's a little bit more doable than it is right now. And again, I think if you target 26 picks, you bring a lot more teams into it because teams that may not want to give up I'm just throwing a number out, the 8th pick.
Well, San Francisco is 11. They're the perfect example. They may not want to give up 11, but they'll feel they'll be better next year. They'll give up 26.
Correct. And once you get through this draft,
I have no interest in trading him for 2 26s.
But
I just don't.
When you get through, if you're another team, if you get through this draft and you have these 3 or 4 young guys coming in that you're really excited about, and you can add Myles Garrett for picks 12 months out, and from the Browns, the only reason I keep saying 26 is because I want the picks that will let me move up and down the board to get a quarterback. And maybe you could trade them.
Do they have those now?
I don't know.
I don't think they have any extra 26
I mean, the picks that they have this year, if you felt like we're not going to get our quarterback now, but I'm going to push those off and turn those into picks for 26.
Yeah.
I wonder if you could, better your position in a year where you know almost definitively it's going to be a better quarterback draft.
I mean, I don't have the list of all their picks in front of me, but I'm just guessing here. If you go off their 26 picks now, if you're trying to move up in 26 to go get a quarterback, you have to include your 27-1.
Yeah.
On top of it, and now you're right back. You're running the same rat race,
chasing your tail.
That you just you're cleaning up now.
Oh my God.
There is no painless way out of where the Browns are. There will be pain no matter which path they take.
Oh, there's a painless way. Is if you draft Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter, and then you accidentally slip up and take your quarterback in the second round, and he's good.
Well, that would require the Browns to hit the lottery, and they've never.
Well, maybe it's time to. If you keep buying scratch-offs, eventually you got to hit.
Eventually, right? The Eagles did it.
The Browns are the only busted clock that ain't been right twice in 25 years. Most busted clocks are right twice a day. The Browns ain't been right twice in 25 years.
They get their guy. They get it with the second, third round pick. I'm like, man, that'd be great if we could get. I'm telling you, Stefanski, draft 2 quarterbacks.
My mind wanders in dreams because that's what I do. But imagine if they did take Abdul Carter, and somehow Myles Garrett watched the rest of their draft unfold, and he said, "Wow, wait a minute." And you got a chance to see Myles with a guy that we think is going to be a transformational guy, another one.
Yeah.
On that defensive front.
And then you say Mike Hall
is blossoming. And by the way, how much better does Mike Hall look if he's got those bookends? You're pretty good.
It's looking decent.
And now you throw a dart, see what I did there? In the dark, and you hit on a Jackson Dart who all of a sudden is like, oh my God. This is like the second coming of
And JOK goes to get
Bo
stem
Nix.
cell. He got stem cell. He's back. JOK
They
is.
lay hands on him. And
Jameis Winston put hands on him.
A man can dream.
Lord.
Nick Chubb's better than ever.
I
He actually
rebuke you.
reversed
Get Reverend Winston back here.
24
Start
years old.
putting
Nick
hands
Chubb
on.
back.
Chubb
Yeah.
back. Look, hey, listen. We out. This is how it starts.
Yes.
This is how you get me predicting.
And by
4,000
August, we're like, oh, I got
yards.
13, 14 wins.
See, they say this. What you talking about,
but,
man?
But the point about Myles, again, the Browns have all the leverage in this. Myles has
Insane.
none. He can
I
say,
agree
he
with
can
that.
say
The
whatever
Browns
he
have
wants.
the hammer. He's the nail, really.
Yeah, so
he
it really
is at
doesn't.
their whim.
It really doesn't matter how Myles views their draft and who they draft and if he likes. It really doesn't matter. Ultimately, if they say no, we are not doing this, you have two options: play for us or retire. What's he going to do?
Yeah, he has no. He's not retiring. He's not retiring. Individual records and awards mean too much to him, and he is in it. You heard Joe say it. He's the most difficult one-man, one-play block in the NFL's history. He's in the conversation to be the greatest ever. He's not going to retire.
I'm being dramatic. Sit out.
Yeah.
Okay, he's not going to sit out.
So those are his options: play for us or sit out. If the Browns want to take it to that level,
okay,
and maybe they do.
This could be an ultimate game of chicken that we just watch all August and see what happens.
Could be. It'll be fun.
I think it'll be decided before August.
You do?
Yeah.
Well,